Hello there and welcome to your GG Replay for Monday, August 16th, 2021. GG Replay is a Monday, Wednesday, Friday show where we break down the latest in gaming news for you, hosted by the Goodnight Groofs, a place for games and a place for goofs. We're workshopping the slogan, but until then, I'm Paul. I'm joined always by Matt. How are you doing on the beginning of this fine week, my friend?
Just another manic Monday, Paul.
Wish it were Sunday.
That's I refer to that normally as my fun day. So,
naturally. I don't understand. Maybe I'm missing something in the song lyric, but I just don't. I don't wish it were Sunday ever.
Yeah.
They specifically have the Sunday scaries. Like Sunday is worse than Monday, demonstrably. I think.
Yeah, I don't love. Well, I don't think it's worse, but I don't.
Yeah, because the impending dread of Monday is worse than actually going through a Monday.
All right. Well, yeah.
I don't know if that's true.
I can see that. I personally would take Sunday over Monday every.
I agree, but I guess if you're gonna wish for a day, it's like if you like a genie was like, it's Monday, you wish it were a different day. Friday.
Yeah.
Saturday, probably top one.
Saturday is. I think Saturday.
Twitter poll.
I think Saturday universally has to probably be, the large majority of people's favorite day of the week.
Yeah, I even get a little bit of the Saturday scaries knowing Sunday's coming. When I work like Monday to Friday, so I gotta say like Friday and when work is done is like peak time because you're like the weekend barely hasn't even started yet. Like I could stay up tonight and like tomorrow I have 2 full days. Like it'll never feel as good as it does Friday night.
You have a good time. Everything ahead of you on Friday.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
You feel like the whole world is ahead of you. It's like the first night of Christmas break. You're like, yes. Yeah. Before you start realizing the days tick by slowly.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to GG Replay. We're here talking about video games and not the scary days of the week. If you wanted to have your kids learn about the days of the week from us, might be a bad move. We're ascribing a lot of meaning to them that might be depressing. Before we get started, just want to remind everyone that if you come across any necessary corrections in today's episode, please send them to ggreplayshow@gmail.com or head down to the YouTube comments below and let us know because you know what? It's sickening being so perfect all the time, and we need to know when we make mistakes because I'm sure we make a boatload of them, but we'll never know. We'll never know, Matt.
I'm just going to always assume that I've been right for this entire show.
I think that's how 90% of the world works anyway. All right, Matt. The reviews are in. The reviews are in.
They are.
And we have some pretty interesting, eclectic games here to talk about. An interesting list of games to talk about. So first off, everyone's been waiting for it. The hotly anticipated, not necessarily from the same developer, but we've all loved Power Wash Simulator. And now we're moving on to Lawn Mowing Simulator.
Of course.
Got a 71 on OpenCritic. It's out right now. I myself was pretty psyched for this, more than Power Wash Simulator, which looked to me to be a little bit like it looked satisfying but also kind of monotonous.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, I really feel like just getting those perfect lines. I watched a reviewer play it, and he was like missing the corners and like not doing a good job mowing the lawn. And it was like, oh, I have to play the game. I should be playing this.
You were probably watching some IGN San Francisco reviewer who's never mowed a lawn.
It was IGN. He said in real life he's mowed many lawns, so I think like I don't know. I'm sure they looked bad, I guess. I don't know. But either way, Matt, any thoughts on Lawnmower Simulator? It looks pretty cool.
This is one of the few simulator games like this that I'm actually kind of interested in.
Yeah.
I think we've actually even brought it up on this show before, but I actually really like mowing the lawn.
Me too.
So this looks satisfying to me. I know Mike is going to be interested in this.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's going to stream it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So look out for Mike's Twitch. The link is on our About Us section on the website at goodnightgroofs.com. So check that out.
Love it. Good plug as well. But also, yeah, it was like as a teen, we had I had a riding lawnmower, and that was the greatest time of my life. Like such a fun thing. We had like 10 acres, and I would just take the riding lawnmower out, and that was one of my and blasting my eardrums because I put little earbuds in and blast them to the max level so that I could listen to stuff while I listen to Total Biscuit while I mowed my lawn and like blast my ears out.
Now, question, Paul, did you see the only thing I've seen for this game in like screenshots and videos are riding lawnmowers. Do they have push mowers?
So I have not seen if there's push mowers. I was wondering that too for some of the detail work, if there's any hedge stuff like a weed
Ooh,
whacker
that would be
or
cool. Yeah.
I feel like you have to have something like that. So we'll see. Or as a boomer might call it, the whippy snipper. I don't know if you've ever heard anyone do
That
that,
might
but
be
I've
a
heard a lot of
Canadian
like,
thing.
yeah, maybe, but like some of the older folks here call it the whippy snipper.
That's hilarious.
It is pretty funny. But yeah, pretty cool. There's like a career mode, which is also kind of
Really?
interesting to me. That's the best part. Is the game has a story, a career mode. You're like starting your
Amazing.
own landscaping, like lawn mowing company, and you have to like make sure you don't.
Okay,
I
that's
saw a
actually
thing where it's like
awesome.
make sure you pick up your lawn cuttings, or you might get fined.
Oh wow.
So like I love that because that I think a lot of these like that was what made American or Euro Truck Sim so good too, is like having like a career mode. Anyway, we've talked long enough about lawn mowing sim, but I just like I'm pretty excited for it. I actually might put some cash. One thing I will say, only on Series S and X on Xbox. This is not on Xbox One.
It is a
It's a
next gen
next gen
title.
game. Yeah, pretty crazy. Moving on to something looking a little bit less next gen, but still quite cool. Road 96, pretty cool looking narrative adventure. Looks like a Telltale game, but weirder, like Psychonauts Telltale
Yeah.
game. I don't know. It's weird. Got an 80 on OpenCritic. That's out now. I watched some reviews, some stuff of this. It looks really cool. I noticed that you wrote it, and I thought that I noticed the same thing too. Is that there's kind of like this roguelike aspect
Yeah.
where you run through to try to escape as a teen from like this weird country, and then you run through again and you continue, and it kind of pushes you further along the story, and you learn more about the characters, which is really really cool.
Yeah, it looks like from what I gathered, the story is actually like randomized, and that's what gives it the roguelite sort of feeling, is that every time you play, it's a different run.
Yes.
So that's kind of interesting. I don't know, like I wonder how good the story can possibly be if it's randomized like that. But
Yeah.
one thing that I thought was cool, looks like you play a bunch of different mini games throughout it. Like they had like
Yeah.
retro video games. They had like air hockey, stuff like that.
You could like just go like trash
Connect
like
Four.
an area too. I saw someone like just taking a bat and like smashing up like a dump area just to like take some
Okay,
aggression out or
yeah.
something. So yeah, Connect Four in the back of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really cool. This looks like right up my alley. I really like the idea of like you can hitchhike, you can take the bus, you can do different things. Your runs are different, but the characters are consistent, so you like learn more about them as you go to like the other characters in the game.
Yeah, the idea of the game is cool. Like you were free to
mhm.
just figure out how you're going to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
That is a pretty cool idea.
Yeah,
Wow.
like it sounds like it might not be like 100% polished, but yeah, it looks really cool. I hope they maybe like continue to work on it, maybe come up with some DLC or something. But yeah, it seems really cool.
Yeah.
Moving on, I feel like after years of having just Civilization or maybe like the Endless series, we haven't really had a lot of new 4X games, but now we got Humankind, and this is right on the heels too of Old World coming out. Interesting game. I'm not 100% sure. I feel it got 81 on OpenCritic. It's out tomorrow, so you can get that if you're dying to play it. It looks cool. Looks like Civilization, a little bit different in some respects. The combat's a little different. They have like one of the cool hitches that I saw was neat was that you start in the Neolithic age, unlike when you start in other games like already a settling society, and you have to like kind of like become settlers. You have to like figure out how to have your little Neolithic tribe survive, which was kind of neat. But then ultimately it just looks like it becomes a Civilization game.
Right.
So
yeah, this is not my kind of game. Like in theory, this is the kind of game that I would like. In theory, I like 4X games, but in like practicality, they just don't work for me.
I think you'd like Civ 5 or something, or maybe even Civ 6, like really, really, really simple.
I have Civ 6. I tried it because I wanted to get into it, but I'm just like, this is just, there's a lot to learn. It's slow.
Yeah.
I get why people like it because of the strategy and the freedom of how you want to go about, creating a strategy. But it just, if I'm going to play a game anywhere in the realm of this sort of thing, I would just want to play like Age of Empires, like old school RTS.
Yeah, see, I tried to play an RTS again recently, and I actually missed the turn-based aspect of 4X. But also after playing Crusader Kings 3, this feels like a little simple, like to not have all the lineages and stuff. So I don't know. The main vibe I got from reviews of this seems to be like it doesn't really reinvent the wheel. And when you're competing with Sid Meier's Civilization, you probably should be doing something a little different. Like at least Old World had like that order system and really kind of changed up some of the gameplay. So yeah, let's move right into this.
First
Sorry, go ahead.
Humankind game. Maybe the sequel
Yeah.
will be a little more fleshed out.
A lot of people are saying that too, because I think it's the same people who did Endless Legend, Endless Space.
Okay.
So, just have to kind of play with it, tinker with it. We'll probably see more Humankind. So,
these kind of games also thrive on DLC. So I'm sure that's coming too.
Yes. All right, moving right into the stories. We have some big stories today. First off, something that I was following earlier, but then totally changed. PlayStation Store ad shows that Call of Duty Vanguard will be revealed on August 19th via Warzone. But then they went and showed a bunch of stuff anyway, too, which is pretty wild. So first off, there was an official teaser trailer. I don't know if you saw that, Matt. Obviously, I assume.
A little bit of it. Yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing, like the first 30 seconds.
Russian World War II. It sounds like apparently sources told Video Game Chronicle that takes place during World War II. Okay, cool. And we'll center around the birth of the modern Allied Special Forces.
That's kind of interesting.
Cool. Sounds cool. Yeah, it's a little different. So we haven't actually seen COD in World War II since obviously we had COD World War II, which is also a Sledgehammer game. But before that, there was even less World War II. So, it seems like they're realizing that that's a huge wealth of popularity for the franchise, but also not to overdo it like they were in the early 2000s, late 2000s, when every game was a World War II game. So they got to space them out. Apparently, we're seeing it'll feature a campaign, multiplayer, zombies, everyone's favorite. Not really mine, but people love it. And it'll also introduce a new, slightly larger Warzone map that takes place in the Pacific Theater. Matt, what are you thinking? I think you play more Call of Duty than me, although I might get back into it. We'll see.
Yeah, so apparently this is being built on the Modern Warfare engine, which is good because I do think that, well, at least me personally, I liked it more than what's the new one?
Cold War?
Yeah, Cold War. That's good news for me. World War II, going back to that, again, if you're doing World War II, you got to do something interesting at this point because World War II stories, not even just in video games, but in movies and books and TV, it's been told so many times. So
you would think it's the only war that's ever happened.
Exactly. And so this the birth of the modern Allied Special Forces, that sounds interesting. It sounds like a little bit of a different take on things, a little more focused in what it's trying to do. So I do like that. I think it sounds interesting. I'm curious to see what we see in the reveal. This game is coming out in under 3 months, most likely. So I assume it's going to be a big blowout where we see everything.
Yeah. Well, that's something I'm really excited for. So I'll tell you right now, the big news for this, the big story for me here is that they're doing a live event reveal. Yeah. Hello, Epic Games, we're knocking on your door. We were just talking about this last week about the Ariana Grande event, how Epic Games is so ahead on all of this. We were even talking about, I think on Game Groofs a couple weeks ago, call it all these other Apex Legends, Call of Duty, are any of these games, PUBG, doing live events? No. This is a live event in Warzone, Battle for Verdansk. It's going to be like an actual battle, I think, at some kind of like event, and then also it's going to reveal the story and what's going to happen here for COD Vanguard. That's so cool.
That is cool.
It's so cool coming out of nowhere to be like, it's almost kind of like a, hey, oh yeah, you kids have your Ariana Grande. We'll do it's like a funny live event to come off the heels of, to then be like, we're going to do our badass cool battle event. It's like, oh, it's actually pretty rad.
Who would have thought that the era of the metaverse would be ushered in by battle royale games?
I know.
It's so,
I think if you'd said that 10 years ago, people would be like, what's a battle royale game?
Yeah, I guess I kind of know what a metaverse is in theory, but
yeah, seriously. It's pretty crazy. So, we'll obviously see more this week. On August 19th. I will probably play this event. I think it sounds pretty cool. I don't know, maybe we'll do that together.
That'd be fun,
see what we're going to do with that. That'd be cool. And we can talk about it on, I think that's Thursday, right? The event. So we're going to talk about it on Friday.
Here's a quick take on COD is that it's really easy to make jokes about COD and shit on it for various reasons. But let's be real, even the worst Call of Duty games are still just well built, fun games to play. They know what they're doing. I feel like it's the only annualized video game franchise that actually brings you a good game every year. And it helps because they have 3, I think now 4 development studios working on it. So
yeah, they have so many.
There's a lot of people taking turns every year. So it's not like the same team churning something out every year.
Yeah.
But still, I feel like if you're gonna do an annualized franchise, they're doing it the right way.
Yeah, makes sense. I agree with you on that. Speaking of, I don't know if we're going to see an annualized franchise, but we're certainly seeing a million games come out. Remedy taking on maybe too much on their plate. Remedy has a new game entering production in partnership with Epic Games, and the big rumor is that it's Alan Wake 2. Now, I don't want to I don't know, do like a spoiler thing, but I mean that could somewhat relate to Control, I think, from what I've gathered in some way or another.
I don't think that's a spoiler. I mean, there was an Alan Wake based DLC.
I'm not going to say what it is. I'm just going to say, like, yeah, obviously, like, I don't know, but apparently, yeah, those tie in. So, we have that. There's going to be some shared universe there. So, I mean, how much could Alan Wake 2, as a rumor, also be something to do with Control?
Sure.
And maybe that's together. I mean, just to recap, there's going to be a Control, like, Left 4 Dead Zombies kind of game. There's like a Control. Is there like an arena shooter or something? There's something weird, right? There's like a bunch of stuff they're coming out with for Control.
So they've got
as an IP.
They've got the Left 4 Dead type, or at least that's what we're kind of led to believe right now.
Yeah.
Control game, a Control sequel. Now this possible Alan Wake 2.
Is it possible the Alan Wake 2 game is the Control sequel?
Ooh.
And maybe to like limit how much Remedy's got going on. I don't know.
I don't think so, because we know that this Alan Wake game. Well, we don't know it's Alan Wake for sure, but whatever this game is, it's partnership with Epic, and 505 is the one in partnership for the Control sequel. So I wonder if that has something to do with 505 owning part of the Control IP or something. Like, I wonder if that has, or like if maybe Remedy owns the IP, but it's a situation where if Remedy wants to make a new Control game, then they have to at least first ask 505 if they want to be a publishing partner. Maybe they have like the first right of refusal.
Yeah.
So maybe something along those lines. This is interesting. I mean, the cool thing about Epic Games is that they have a shit ton of money.
And they are not afraid to spend it.
Yeah. So they can help Remedy out by putting a ton of money behind this, and they're calling it a new AAA game. So
11 years later.
So if it is Alan Wake 2, then it's Alan Wake 2 with the AAA treatment with Epic Games money behind it. So that's intriguing.
It's intriguing because I see a lot of people with different views on this. I've seen a lot of people online saying, hey, listen, like, I like Control better than Alan Wake. Or, you know what I'd really like is more Quantum Break, not Alan Wake. And then I see a bunch of people are like, finally, Alan Wake's the only good thing. Like, it's my favorite thing that Remedy's done. So it's kind of interesting. It'll be interesting to see if that story and character and everything can draw the AAA audience that they're looking to get.
I don't know how, if it is Alan Wake 2, I don't know like how well that game is going to sell.
Again, being a 2 and having to rely on, before like Remedy was so more popular, like again, Control and Quantum Break were much larger, more popular games, like well-known games. Obviously Alan Wake has a cult following. And also a game that's like, at this point, and the game isn't even, anywhere near ready or finished yet, presumably, Alan Wake at this point is 11 years old already. So it's maybe not something you want to go back and play right now. So kind of a weird thing to make a sequel to and put all this money behind, but
maybe part of it is, maybe it's actually an Alan Wake like remake or remaster or something, and
that would be cool too.
Or maybe that's part of the deal with getting Epic money, is releasing a remaster remake around the same time. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll have to see, but pretty exciting to see Remedy taking on more. I mean, it's at least it seems like an actual interesting title that they're taking on, and not just like more like Control was popular. Let's like throw a million things with Control at the wall. So this is kind of cool to see them doing a project based on their previous passions.
Going full in on the Remedyverse.
Oh yes. Speaking on a game that is kind of run by pure passion, what an insane franchise. Tom Henderson, trusted industry leaker, teased on Twitter that a new Twisted Metal game is coming in 2023. Twisted Metal. I don't know if we all the terrifying clown, a lot of horrifying Twisted Metal
Sweet
cars.
Tooth, is that his name?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I think he has a creepy name. God, it scared the crap out of me when I played that on N64 as a kid. Like, I don't have much to say about this. I mean, I didn't really. I played a bit of Twisted Metal, but I know that the franchise has progressed a lot over the years, and they've had some interest, but it definitely feels like they're kind of resurrecting something from the dead here.
Yeah, I don't know about this. Twisted Metal was such a game of its time,
Right.
I feel like it has to be
It had that
something different.
edgy, crazy, scare, like creepy thing that like everything can do now. Like at the time, it was just like pushing the boundaries of the games being creepy and wild and over the top.
I saw someone refer to, it might have actually been Cliff Bleszinski,
Oh wow.
refer to Twisted Metal as the first battle royale, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. It's always interesting to like go like what was the first battle royale? I think we talked about that on Game Groups recently.
I think even weirder than getting a Twisted Metal game in 2023 is the fact that a Twisted Metal TV show is coming out, being produced by Sony Pictures Television.
Yeah, that one we got a while ago, right? That we heard that news, and that yeah, Sony Pictures is doing a Twisted Metal TV show helmed by people who I would imagine really should be doing it.
Yeah,
Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, who are the writers behind Deadpool and Zombieland, which totally makes sense.
yeah,
To
that
take kind
fits
of like
perfectly.
to take a tongue-in-cheek look at Twisted Metal here and kind of get goofy with it, maybe self-referential about what it is. But still, what a reach! What a crazy! I just don't know where the appeal is for the IP. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I wasn't the right audience.
Yeah, unless they really change how the game is played, as this game could be amazing, and the fans of Twisted Metal could love this game in 2023. Yep. I think no matter what, it's just not going to sell well. I just can't see it selling well. It's really hard to imagine that. I mean, the franchise went away for a reason, right?
Yeah.
So you bring it back, maybe if you change things up, I don't know, turn it into some sort of kart racer. I mean,
full battle royale, run everyone off the road. That would be cool as hell.
You got to imagine that's probably they probably are going to go that route with it.
It's
right?
like, what's that terrible? Was it Peter Molyneux? What was that weird car-based MMO that had a funny name?
Auto Assault.
Auto Assault.
Yeah, that was bad.
Funny. That was really bad. I was just thinking that. I was just thinking of that. It'll be like that, but a battle royale. Oh boy! Speaking of something that will never go away, and doesn't need to come back, Pokemon Direct, this Wednesday, August 18th at 9 a.m. Eastern, burly in the morning here in the stateside. We're going to learn about some of the cool games that they teased about 5 months ago and kind of left us hanging a little bit now. First off, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which they look pretty good, clean, faithful to the originals. Yeah. They look kind of like a little chibi, cutesy, Switch game version that's updated.
The Let's Go treatment.
Yeah, they got the Let's Go treatment. I'll be honest, I kind of dropped off around Diamond and Pearl in terms of me playing a lot of Pokemon. I did play those ones. Those were the last ones I really properly played. And they were good. I'm more of an Omega Ruby kind of guy, Alpha Sapphire. But yeah, they look cool. I know some people were saying, like, obviously the update for the visuals is cool, but primarily a lot of people are hoping that they're going to put in a lot of the fancy new game mechanics that they've been putting in the last Pokemons. Right. So yeah, hoping for the Pokemon fans that they do that. And the other big thing, Pokemon Legends Arceus. This is a big deal. Obviously, this is like the Pokemon game that we all dreamed of when we played Pokemon as kids. Yep. It's like an open world RPG, Breath of the Wild Pokemon set long ago when we had like proto Pokeballs and we were going around and throwing them at Pokemon just to kind of like dumb things down enough that they can actually, run it on the Switch and make it like not too crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, the trailer that they gave us 5 months ago looks awesome. It looks so cool. You're like ducking in the bushes and throwing Pokeballs and sneaking up on the Pokemon. But also, it looks super bare bones in that trailer. Like, and it wouldn't surprise me to see.
And it ran at like 15 FPS.
And it ran at like 50 FPS, and it wouldn't surprise me. I was like, oh, they'll add more stuff to like fill out the world and make it look a little less like you're in the middle of an empty field. But I don't know. That feels like something that the Pokemon company would leave, like Game Freak would leave. And just I don't know. That's what I think we're all kind of waiting with bated breath to see if it's actually going to be something.
So I weirdly have faith in this game. I don't know why. I shouldn't. I think that the fact that Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are coming out around the same time makes me think that if Arceus isn't good, if Pokemon Legends Arceus isn't good, then people will just be like, yeah, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I'll just stick with that for now.
Well, the thing is, we don't know when either of those games are going to come out, right? So this could be like, hey, do we know when Arceus is coming out? Is it supposed to come out around the same time? Is it
Yeah.
okay? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we talked about that on replay already. I forgot about that.
Yep, January, and Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl come out in November.
Okay, yeah, so that's fair. They have something that just came out that's faithful.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm. That's kind of the way that I see things. Is Arceus has to be good unless they end up pushing it back, which is
I
also
think.
possible.
I mean, if they have to, I mean, or if it's like benefits from it, then go for it. I think I think you really want to get this game right.
But you're right. It did look bare bones. It would be okay if it looked like that and the game wasn't coming out in January. So like
Right.
this
Right. But
this
again, we saw that 5 months ago.
yeah.
Chances are they could have been showing us like, just giving us an idea of what the mechanics are like, and less so having to worry about. But also, it ran so low, even with nothing in the field of vision.
Yeah, that was weird.
I worry, I worry about a lot of these games, especially open world games, just that the Switch's hardware is limiting in a lot of ways, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's unfortunate. Obviously, Pokemon is kind of tied to Nintendo here and tied to the Switch, and not that I think that's fine and good, but imagine if they had like the free reign to make a Pokemon game like this. I mean, Game Freak probably wouldn't do fucking anything about it, but imagine if they could, make it run for like a PS5 or something. How crazy that would be.
That would be awesome. Literally never see that.
Never. No.
But yeah, I have weird blind faith in this, and maybe we'll find out on the 18th that I'm an idiot and it still looks terrible. So
I don't know. I'm easy to please in terms of Pokemon. Like, I think there's a lot of people who are, the diehards are, expect a lot of systems and complicated stuff. And I still don't really understand how IVs work. And I usually only use like one Pokemon and have a couple backups. So, so like for me, if like the game's just kind of like the world's kind of fun and like colorful, I'm like, all right, like, I'll play some more Pokemon.
the thing is that like the idea is so intriguing. I just don't really, I really don't want them to mess it up. Like the whole, however many years, like hundreds of years in the past that it takes place or whatever.
Yeah,
That's such a cool idea.
I know.
And Pokemon has literally never explored that territory
No,
before.
you've
So
literally only been to this one time period. Really.
yeah.
It's always just kind of hung out to the same time.
So just
It's interesting
please make
to
it
see
work.
more of that world in the Sinnoh region. And also, I don't know, I lost my train of thought, but that's okay.
It's all right. It happens. It happens.
It happens. All right, let's move on before I lose more trains of thought. Evo, the Evo conference announced that they will be in person again next year in Las Vegas, August 5th to 7th for the prize fight. I might be a little premature. We don't know 100% know what's going to be happening, but yeah, sure. Let's put it August 5th to 7th, and then we can always see what happens from there. I don't know. I don't really follow fighting game stuff super a lot, but it's cool. I think if I were going, I like to say if I'm gonna watch a competitive game, I'd like to watch a fighting game, but I don't know if that's actually true. I'd probably rather watch like, I don't know,
I'd probably
shooter.
watch a shooter. Yeah.
Or I didn't mind watching like MOBAs and stuff a little bit. Like I watched some League stuff, but honestly, there's so much downtime in that sometimes that it can be a little much.
Like you, I'm not really a big fighting game guy. I don't really pay attention to the FGC at all, but I put it in here because I really respect the FGC and Evo because I think that what they're doing is so cool, and I'm really jealous that I'm not a part of it because they're like their own ecosystem within gaming, and it's so cool.
Absolutely. Okay, let's buy ourselves some gamepads, Matt. We'll start streaming, and the stream will just be you and I both being terrible at fighting games with like really expensive gamepads, and we'll just fight each other until we get really good.
Which like fighting game series is the one that you like the best? I guess. Like I don't play a ton of them, but I guess I would probably say that Street Fighter would probably be the one that I would gravitate toward. Back in the day, I would have said Soul Calibur.
Sure. I actually got a little bit into playing Dragon Ball Fighters.
Okay.
Last year, which was fun, and I mean it's basically classic fighting game, but I just love Dragon Ball so much, so that was bomb. You can get it on sale super cheap, so that's really sweet. Probably my favorite. If it weren't for that, I've played some other ones. I think I tried some Guilty Gears or something like that, or some things on Steam that were really cheap. Skull Girls, I think I played that for a little bit. I tried to get good at because it was kind of the art style was kind of cool, but but Dragon Ball Fighters was probably the most I've tried to play a fighting game and watch too. I watched a lot of streamers or like YouTubers play that too, just to see the cool animations and stuff.
I played a lot of Dragon Ball Z Budokai back in the
I
day.
played a lot of those games. That was my favorite game series for a really long time. Everyone's always like hyping up the Budokai Tenkaichi games, but I never
Mm,
really played those. I always played the straight up original three Budokai games. I actually
yeah.
got the Xbox 360 remake. Like I don't know, I played on my Xbox One like a few years ago, and didn't hold up super well. I'll tell you right
Yeah.
now, but but it was a lot of fun as a kid. That was one of my favorite games.
Did you ever play any of the Bloody Roar games?
No, I don't
I
think I've heard of
love
that.
those. So you would play as like a regular fighter, and then
Mhm.
you would have like this gauge that you power up, and then you can like turn into like a beast, like a
Mm.
werewolf type thing or something like that. And
Yeah, what system was that on? I think I might have played that at
I
someone's
don't know
house
if it was
as a
PlayStation
kid.
exclusive, but it was definitely
Yeah,
on PlayStation.
I definitely played that on someone's PlayStation because that sounds extremely familiar to me, and I remember being really psyched now that you're saying it. So yeah, I'm sure I did play
I
that.
loved those back in the day.
Yeah, they should forget Twisted Metal. Let's bring back Bloody Roar.
Seriously.
All right. So, speaking of things that we're bringing back, things that are going away. Dead by Daylight, Stranger Things DLC being removed this November. So get it while you still can. Do we know why? That's so interesting. I was trying to figure out, but they're just like, the license is over, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
it's got to be just the end of a licensing.
But you can still get it before that and then use it, right? So that's pretty cool. Also, it's not going to wait till after spooky season. So, I mean, hopefully by then most people will have gotten it. If you're going to play Dead by Daylight and you haven't played it by the end of October, were you really interested in playing Dead by Daylight anyway? Is what I say.
Here's what I think is going to happen and what we're going to see in the future.
Mhm.
Video game licenses that are related to Netflix are going to start going away. They're not going to be renewed
Mhm.
because we know Netflix is
That's
getting
a
into
really good
gaming.
tip. That's a
So
really, really good prediction.
yeah, this we were talking the other day about playing Dead by Daylight.
I know. I was just gonna say I still want to. I actually downloaded it on my Xbox. It's on Game Pass.
Yeah, it looks like a fun
Yeah,
game. I've just never played it before. So
yeah,
yeah, I want to get
yeah,
into it. Don't think I'll be
yeah,
buying Stranger Things DLC though. I don't.
yeah.
I don't
Probably
really like
not.
Stranger Things. No.
Apparently, I think the Game Pass version comes with like all the DLC, most of the DLC, like a
Oh,
crazy
okay.
amount. So I don't
Wait,
know. Either way, maybe that's something we'll be doing this week.
it's not on PC Game Pass,
Ah,
which sucks
terrible.
because I did check that.
Pull the Xbox One out of the old closet.
I
We'll
keep
get to
forgetting
it.
I have an Xbox One.
Yeah, I know. All right, and moving on to final thing of the day, just a kind of fun fact reported by Game Data Library on Twitter via Famitsu. All top 30 best-selling retail games in Japan last week were Nintendo Switch titles, which is pretty darn cool. And they might think, oh, okay, well, that happens. I mean, obviously, PlayStation's pretty popular over there, or maybe there's been. This is the first time, I saw this over the weekend too, Matt. It's pretty interesting. First time a top 30 was from one single console since 1988, November 1988. From the top 30 was Famicom only. We're talking the OG NES was the last time this happened. So
Yeah,
Nintendo holds the record, and they have once again come to claim it. Pretty crazy. It's
yeah.
pretty crazy that I guess maybe it just there's like obviously the original that was really there really wasn't competition in a real way, and that was
Mhm.
like exploding onto the scene, the Famicom, and so it was perfect time. I mean, obviously it'd been out for a while in 1988, but still, it just never died. It was so incredible. This one almost feels like I can't guarantee, but it feels like maybe there's like a drought of PlayStation titles, maybe, or just like that perfect moment where there just wasn't quite enough going there. Because I feel like obviously the popularity isn't quite the same. These aren't the same market factors.
Right.
30 years apart.
No, I
But
think you're right. It has to do with a PlayStation drought right now.
kind of like a perfect
And
storm.
I thought it was interesting. Another tidbit is that so number one was Minecraft, and then number 2 through 30
Yep.
were all Japanese developed games.
Yep. The thing that was surprising to me was the Minecraft thing, because I assumed all of the Japanese developed games would make sense in general because we're talking about Japan.
Right.
But Minecraft, number one,
Yeah,
absolutely crazy.
beloved
As like
everywhere.
still a global title, still insanely popular. It's not necessarily mentioned as much, but I mean that's because I'm not talking to 7-year-olds who are probably playing. I mean, and I'm not saying that only 7-year-olds play Minecraft, but there is like a huge popularity there. I think in Minecraft that isn't talked about as much anymore, but people still put tons of hours into it.
How are people still buying it? Doesn't everyone have Minecraft? Like,
that's what's crazy to me is it's the top selling game, and I assume everyone would have it, but maybe it's just catching on in Japan. I don't know.
I think is it the best selling game of all time? I think it is,
yes,
right?
It is. It is.
So how is it still selling? Everyone's got it,
right? It's wild. Maybe I guess it's just sweeping its way through the world and it's hitting Japan right now.
True.
I don't know.
Maybe yeah, different times that trends hit. It's possible.
That would be interesting to look up actually. Matt.
What?
It's been great talking to you today.
It's been good talking to you.
I will. It's been great talking to everyone at home too. I just want to remind everyone that we do have a website, goodnightgroofs.com. And on that website, we have our blogs, we have our videos, we have our podcasts, we have about us, and we have links to all our socials. So if you are interested vaguely in anything that we've done, or extremely interested, head on over to goodnightgroofs.com and you can get everything Groof related, because if you game, you're probably a Groof. Also, this podcast is in audio form, so if you're listening to it on audio right now, good for you. You're with the trend. But if you're watching the video, also you can listen to this as a podcast, so you don't have to look at our faces the entire time. Either way, if you can send us any sort of likes, 5 stars, any ratings, we really, really appreciate it, especially on Apple Podcasts, because that really helps with the algorithm. And also, good reminder, you might see over at our website, we do have a Patreon. We do appreciate any and all support. Just listening and watching is great support. We really love it, especially feedback, comments, emails. Any way you want to interact is amazing. But you can get to the front of the line and interact with us a little bit better, or get exclusive content. If you head on over to our Patreon, there's a $1, $3, and $5 tier. $3 gets you early access to our all-encompassing gaming podcast, Game Groofs, which actually just came out yesterday. So you can actually go head out and listen to that too right now if you want to. But you could have listened to it on Friday if you were a patron. So something to think about. You could already come into the week knowing what's going on. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I feel like I've just said a mouthful. Matt, do you have anything to add before we head out of here today?
No, I'm just off to go start my lawn mowing career.
That is it. Don't forget the corners, Matt. Don't forget the corners.
Unless you'll get my willy snapper.
Your whippy snipper?
My whippy snipper. My willy snapper.
Oh no, very, very different connotation. Imagine grass or just anyway. Thanks. That's gonna be it for GG Replay for Monday, August 16th, 2021. Have a great day. We'll see you again on Wednesday. Good night, Groofs.